Wolverhampton Wanderers in the West Midlands has a prestigious past. The club's over a century old and was one of the founder members of the Football League. And throughout its history, the Wolves have enjoyed a large and loyal following. But until fairly recently, it attracted a crowd who were interested in anything but football. Wolves' first game of the 1987-88 season was away to Scarborough, who'd just been promoted to the Football League. What should have been a day of celebration for Scarborough was wrecked by Wolves fans, intent only on violence. Incredibly, only one fan was injured, but thousands of pounds worth of damage was caused and pictures of the violence were seen on national television. It was just the latest in a series of violent incidents involving Wolves fans. Police believe the hardcore troublemakers numbered about 100 and were highly organised, not only at away games.
They'd meet at certain public houses, and as visiting fans came into Wolverhampton, they'd be waylaid and attacked. And there was many instances of quite dreadful violence being perpetrated. Inside the ground, they'd act again as a team. They'd leave before the end of the game, of course, to waylay fans again and create ambushes. The whole scenario was a disgrace.
The hooligans justified the violence at Scarborough and elsewhere in an interview on local radio.
The football team ain't doing nothing, so the hooligans have got to. Wolves ain't been on in the papers, right, except for when we went down to Scarborough and battered them. And that's the only time we got on the papers. So if the football team ain't doing nothing, so we've got to do.
Senior officers felt that increasing police numbers would not deal with the problem. Instead, they drew up a strategy to target the ringleaders. A decision was taken to launch an undercover operation called Operation Growth. Richard Shakespeare and Mark Pritchard were amongst 8 officers who volunteered to go undercover in an attempt to infiltrate gangs. For 3 months, they lived on a knife edge, acting as soccer fans, but working as police officers. And it was the information that they supplied which enabled other officers to be on site with video cameras to record evidence, as on this occasion, when Cardiff fans met up with rival Wolves supporters. For public eye, PC's Shakespeare and Pritchard returned to the Wolves ground, having completed their most difficult professional assignment.
There's no problem physical appearance, but it's the mental side which is a difficult part of it. You've got to stop thinking like a policeman. You've got to stop talking like a policeman, which is very hard after you've done 10 years in the job.
How dangerous did you find the job?
It's as dangerous as you made it. Our brief was not to get into any trouble with the police or otherwise. So as soon as we saw something coming about, you could see what was happening. You'd step to one side and watch.
The police discovered that the hooligans compiled scrapbooks. They contained press reports cataloguing in detail their most violent incidents. They also had calling cards printed for the Bridge Boys gang. Fights were also carefully planned, both by Wolves fans and opposition supporters.
When Wolves played away at Exeter, we were outside the ground, and a home fan, whether he was an Exeter fan or not, he was obviously from that part of the country, came up to us and said, if you want to knock, it's round the corner, I'll tell you where, and he gave us directions where to meet for the fight.